Well, now this is rather a lot of stern faces. Are my library books overdue again? Not to our knowledge. We're associates of Crow with the students of Valdez. Please each passage to Thavnir and understand that you can assist us. Ah, the test subjects! Welcome, welcome! Test subjects? Oh, you hadn't heard. Well, then allow me to explain. So in order to travel to an aetherite, you ordinarily need to attune to it beforehand. Otherwise, you can't use it as a beacon to seek out while you're in a mess of ether hurtling out along the life stream. And then giving it an incontrovertible limitation of aetherite teleportation. But what if I were to tell you that there's a way to travel to an aetherite without being attuned to it? A way to teleport instantly to places you've never been. Prolonged use of labor to make such travel possible, but people might move about more freely. And we've finally done it. We've created a new kind of aetherite that doesn't require attunement. Truly, that changes everything. Well, my language may have been misleading. The user need not attune to these aetherites, but the aetherites themselves must have been pre-attuned to each other, thereby facilitating travel between the 2 points. But it just so happens that our first test pair of aetherites, one has been installed here in Charlotte and the other over in Elitimad, port town in Thavnir. As you may know, our nation has long maintained strong ties with Razadhan, and indeed we owe much to this breakthrough to the contributions of their alchemists. So to sum up, we're to test these aetherites. How fortuitous. For you. I should mention that an accident has impaired my ability to channel ether. Will this be a trouble? Not at all. As a matter of fact, you might say these aetherites were made for people like your good self. Magic imbued within will whisk you away without any effort on your part. A veritable dream come true. And far be it for me to worry about such things, but do we have permission to make use of your shiny new invention? The only permission required is yours, so assuming you're willing, we're all set. It may come as a surprise, we actually struggle to find test subjects. Most people seem to have an unreasonable fear of their souls gradually disintegrating as they drift helplessly in the live stream, in the statistically unlikely event that something goes awry. But explain that you aren't most people. Mr. Scrowd truly knows how to pick them. If I might change the subject, our Master Wolfson and Mistress Blowwood are not present. Oh, you didn't hear. They've recently resigned their posts. Their expertise was needed elsewhere. A large-scale project held by the Forum itself, as I understand, but I'm not privy to the details. I see. Any other questions? No? Then let's get going before you change your minds. Please see to your preparations and head outside to the Aetherite Plaza. I'll be along shortly. In case you were wondering, the Aetherite still functions like a normal one. It's just been upgraded to allow unattuned travel. I'll see you there shortly. The words said unsaid yet weigh heavy on my heart. To shut the door, without mind all to our task of death. Given my experience with the teleportation, I'd be lying if I didn't say if I said I didn't have reservations. I won't trust him cry. I shall teleport there, try to trust. Good luck.
Right, we're all set. Just the 4 of you, was it?
3. I'm already attuned to the crystal in Thavnir.
You are? would have preferred more test subjects. Oh, well, never mind. If our 3 travelers could line up here, please. Yes, right there is fine. Take a deep breath, and I'll soon have you soaring through the ether. Oh, and one last thing. You might experience a teensy-weensy touch of violent ethereal sickness. Good luck!
What?
Thavnir, home to city-state Rads at Han. Rising from the southeast waters of the Bounty, this Isle of Plenty served as the battleground for a conflict between 2 peoples. Their cultures bled into one another until a unique amalgamation was distilled from the chaos, in a process not unlike their precious alchemy. Once solidified as a single nation, an adamant stance of neutrality would hold invaders at bay. For a time. Now across this vibrant isle creeps a fog of malice. What choice do you have? What chance? Against such an insidious foe.
I've seen fairer faces after a bout of bad shellfish. Let me bring you something to drink. That should help settle your bellies.
There was a note with Kryle's instructions. Don't let a Stinian roam the markets alone. He's alarmingly bad with coin.
Managed to will yourself to your feet, but given your condition, we will reach Estinian in time. You there. I need 3 drinks. Something that helps with either sickness. By the months, a traveler. I need greetings. Greetings and welcome. Your wise good sir to come to me. My special Amory lassie, made with only the finest and freshest ingredients, is famed for calming unruly bellies. By way of warm welcome to Davenir, I'm pleased to offer it to you for the low price of 19,800 gil. For not 1, not 2, but 3 bottles. A bargain amongst bargains. You got the braid, Mrs. Hyrule robbery, and you want to say as much as skinny, but you realize any words of warning make me cry out with me and pug me with your last meal. I'm gonna stand before skinny and using gestures, deny the dear sir. 19,800 gil. Let's deal this out. I thought you could barely stand. What do you need to tell me that's so urgent? Wait, I shouldn't buy the Odyssey. This merchant is swindling me. Ah! Just sincerest apologies, sir, but I appear to have advices confused. It's actually 1,890 gil for 3 bottles of lassie. And the confusion would have been quite costly for both of us. Very well then, your coin. Here, a bottle for each of you. Take them to the others and get some rest. I'll be back after I've explored the town. Praise be to the 12. My stomach doth loosen its death grip. My heartfelt thanks to thee, Anastinian, and to the fine fruits of this land. Near hath teleportation induced such terrible discomfort, 'twas torturous in its intensity, and I would sooner swim a score malms. You were in time. Excellent. You've spared us to Taru's wrath. Sweet release. If you haven't already, you should have yours too. Right, I'm ready to get on with it. A lassie truly worked wonders. Back on your feet, I see. Thy hair. I have bound it. 'Tis the most I could do against this heat, sort of shedding my armor. May I ask where you got the cord from it? Local vendor. Man said it's the Thavnarian weave, tough and not easily unwrapped. And how much did it cost? 9,400 gil. Still, I was told. It is nothing fancy, but I've always valued function before. That's incredible. I dare say not even Alphinaud could hold a candle to you. It's not uncommon for merchants to set the prices high, but doesn't it seem excessive here? I'm inclined to agree with thine assessment. It doth seem excessive, unusually so. Claiming Thavnir as its dominion, the nation of Razathan hath long thrived as a hub of commerce. In the beginning, there were the Arcasador, a Mantanka tribe indigenous to this island. Over time, they came to be joined by other races, and through their intermingling, culture rich and distinct did emerge. From alchemy to textiles, the products of Hannish culture have come to be celebrated and coveted the world over. Development not only aided by the nation's prime locations of waypoint betwixt the east and west. All this hath combined to make the trading power of the Razatan, yet such status cannot be taken for granted. Nay, must needs be maintained through judicious governance and stringent regulation. Neither of which I see any evidence, given the merchants at Gateway Town are free to fleece hapless travelers and tarnish the reputation of a nation at large. Just so, that opportunistic pricing is rampant doth suggest that oversight is much weakened, or mayhap that the people have fallen upon hard times. Whatever the truth may be, it would be prudent to ascertain the current state of affairs. Prudent and practical, aye, but not to lose by learning more. So ere we seek out Kryle's acquaintance, shall we seek out what information we can gather here at Yadillan? Excellent. We didn't exactly get off to a flying start, but we'll make it. Is it truly so amusing to see my hair bound? Tis how I used to wear it, functional fashion. Perhaps you were confused by how you found me following Nidhogg's demise. It had fallen loose after the Garrigens removed me from my arm and put me to bed. Simply decided to leave it that way for a time, and seeing as I would not don the Azure Dragon's helm again. Be that assured, I am quite recovered. Lassie is truly a boon for unruly stomachs. Right, let us split up and make the inquiries in town. Sarah, the beer is yours. Once we have learned what we can, we move by the ether end, off-putting though the mere sight of it may be. Gazing off in the pier, you spy boats, rowed off and floating up isles with silhouettes of larger seafaring vessels further away. Compared to other ports you've visited in the past, there appears to be very little activity. What am I doing? Oh, recording my sales. Still, do it daily out of habit, though I don't know why I bother. Hardly sell anything these days. Business has never been this terrible, but I suppose things could have been ever worse. I could even have a consortium to keep afloat, like Calzon. I don't envy his position. Better be alone with my little operation, I've come to realize. You travel by the looks of it. If you have a moment, perhaps you could pay Calzon a visit. He'd be glad for tidings from abroad. Like as not, you'll find him in the Saltman Sales at the Harbor Guild building across the water from here. Well now, if it isn't a traveler. You're a rare sight in these unsettled times. People have been giving us a wide berth since that cursed tower suddenly appeared on Nuremberg. If it just stood there and loomed ominously, perhaps things would be fine after a fashion, but no. It had to spell fell fiends as well. We still have our lives thanks to the radiant host, but business is as good as dead. What will become of us? The gods know. The Dalmaskins are coming? But we already have everything they'd ordered. What are we supposed to do with it? I don't know, but yelling at me isn't going to help. All I know is that their plans have changed, and that's that. Look, you must have known this might happen. The Empire is at war with itself, and the provinces are in chaos. And then there's the Lord Tower sitting on a doorstep spitting out monstrosities. The city has its defenses, but we've been afforded no protection out here. We can't blame foreigners for not wanting to take the risk. Gah! But this would be an enormous loss. Alright. Forget about the Damascus. Surely some ships are still coming. We have fresh produce, handicrafts, medicines, all the perennial Hannish favorites. Our consortium works closely with merchants and artisans to supply only the finest wares. Quality is guaranteed. I know all of these things, Calzal, I do. Which is why they say regret I have nothing for you. All voyages have been cancelled or indefinitely postponed. And you are? Wait, you're a foreigner, are you not? A merchant. Please tell me you're a merchant. I see. Well, that's a shame. I'm sorry, but we're discussing important matters. If you need something, please talk to one of the others. Excuse me. My name is Matza, and I'm here to see Calzo. Oh, it seems he's busy. I'll come back later then. Yes, can I help you? I remember seeing you back at the guild. You wanted to speak with Calzon too, did you? I'm Mattia, a fisherman of Akali, nearby village. I saw this, my catch Calzon, who offers it to foreign merchants, but he hasn't bought anything in for a while. When I heard the consortium had been struggling, I became worried and decided to come and see. Just as soon as he's free. He's a hard-working man, I dare not disturb him. What is it that you do? Adventure, you say, and you travel the world helping people. Then, that must mean you're great at dealing with strangers. Please, won't you teach me to be like you? You see, I brought some fresh fish with me, the portion I couldn't preserve, and I want to sell them. Problem is, I'm terrible with people. I've only dealt with guys, and I can't talk to customers without getting my trunk in a twist. So please, as silly as it might sound, would you not peddle the fish in my stead? Show me how it's done. If you're willing, please let me know and we can begin at once. You'll do it then. Show me how to deal with customers. I'm in your debt. Right. Please try peddling the fish to, say, 3 people here in your dilemma. I will observe you in there. Yes. Greetings, friend. How fare you late? Greetings to you two. I suppose I'm well enough given the circumstance. Things have settled down somewhat. I was on a kiosk when the tower first disappeared. Everyone had grabbing wherever they could, traveling over each other when we get to the city. The lady remained there for now, but I could not stay away. I had to come back to live my life such as this. Whether or not it was the right choice, I will tell. There's no place like home. Don't do anything dangerous, eh? Oh, trust me, I don't. I make sure to keep well clear of the tower, and then when more monsters appear, you heed the radiant's instructions. I hope they deal with it soon so we can get back to our normal lives. To the days when you could earn as much as you gave, tucking and being satisfied that you gave good. Speaking of meals, why not have some fresh fish? Fresh fishes. Oh, you're a fishmonger. Heck, when you bait me like that, how can I not buy you? Very well, give me some of your fish. Thank you for your custom. Capture the day's shallow's card. Delectable steward and coconut milk and bacon with a sprinkle of salt. Many visitors here from other sources. Even Alner has seen few merchant ships in his docks, and has felt the loss of coin they bring most keen. Baraka, are you? Do you sell fruit by chance? If so, I want to buy you some amra. Let's say a dozen. They don't need to be export quality. What do you need so many amra for? Well, for eating, of course. It may seem like a lot, but of late I go through it that much in no time at all. I'm a stock taker by trade, but with no vessels coming these days, the wares are beginning to pile up. By the same token, nothing is coming from overseas, but not a day goes by that someone doesn't come asking for the next shipment before arriving for this and that, and this and that. All of it wears me down and I find myself constantly hungry. I know how you feel. Thank you. Pity you don't sell fruit, but I enjoyed a little chat. Take my mind off my troubles for a moment. Never mind. If nothing else, you left over their positive impression. Let's move on to the north side of town. Storehouse like any other at first glance, but yet in contrast to scale, there's a distinct lack of activity. What is it? If you don't mind, I'm rather busy. Oh my god, it's my stomach. Ether sickness. No, nothing so unusual. I'm in a hurry to get back to work. I just ate a little too quick. Some Fresh fish are subtly stunning. Mine are the freshest of all. Oh, food is the last thing I need right now. Go and sell your fish to someone else. Yeah, never mind. We just approached him at a bad time. Timing is everything, yes? Thank you so much for your demonstration. It was truly eye-opening experience. Come, let us return to the pier. Thank you so much for showing me how to talk to customers. You managed to sell one of the 3 people you approached. It was difficult, but when you put your mind to it, you succeeded. Though you did fail too, but there are lessons to be learned in both success and failure. By buying yours, I'll endeavor to become a better peddler. Still, there's only so much that can be done alone. I hope that things return to normal for Calzon soon. I thought I heard a familiar voice, and should it be but Mati? Calzon, have you finished your business at the guild? So you were there too. Forgive me, Charizard Knight, I cannot find any buyers. With no ships coming in and hardly any going out, there simply aren't any options at this rate. So you can't buy my fish anymore. I'm sorry, Matsuya, I totally am. But for now, you must peddle your own goods. But myself, I can't. I want to help you, I do. As it stands, I can barely help myself. Poured my all into the consortium, and I'll be damned if I let it fall apart. Let families and friends depending on me, and I can't. I won't fail them. The sisters as my witness. God's all. Not to worry, using what I've learned from you, I'm sure I'll manage somehow. Well, I'd best return to my village. My thanks again, and please take care on the road. Thursday and Saturday. Thursday and Saturday nights. There you are. Gotten over the ether sickness, have you? Mayhap owing to the island's small size, the tower's impact upon the people's life doth appear more pronounced here than any yours. I see you've been busy. Managed to learn a tidbit or two, I trust. I see. You also heard that the tower is affecting many locals' livelihoods, but to think it would be such an extent. For another notable, if not wholly unexpected, discovery, disappearances and kidnappings are disturbingly commonplace. As before, the culprits are almost certainly tempered and Imperial soldiers. And as before, they mean to use the faith of the hapless thralls to call forth the lunar primal. Business as usual for the Tolafi. Helping a struggling fisherman you've only just met peddle his catch. Yes, you would do something like that. That Miss Matia fellow you were helping. He's Arcasadora, is he not? Apparently, his almost exclusively his people that are being kidnapped. Should he be traveling alone? If somebody is the perpetrator's name, it doth stand reason that Arcasadora would be the proper targets. For it is of the faith of their ancestors which prevaileth in this land, and many are devout adherents still. We better go after her. Akiali literally lies in the west, as I recall. The same direction as Sproul's acquaintance, incidentally. Settle with it. Keep your eyes peeled while we make for the village. Other end, that Tanga everywhere has stone fallen. Ah, your face. It is known to me. You were the warrior who fought for the mole in the Nadam. I am Ogul of the Katayin. It was your bravery and skill which inspired me to embark upon my own hero's journey. Yet, now I have foolishly blundered into the den of Tanga. Why do these others walk without fear? Do they not care if they are slaughtered? These Mantanga are not like those on the Asim steppe. I do not doubt your word, but grandmother would always warn me. If you encounter a Mantanga, you turn tail and flee as fast and as far as you can. Your tails were awful and bloody, and so now, the very sight of them, it terrorizes unbidden. No, I cannot stay here. I must earn enough coin to buy passage from this nightmare island as soon as possible. I beg you to stay at my side for a time, just until I meet this Kangana person who the sailors told me about. She said you have work with have work that pays a fair wage, so I'll see she has for me. But it does, mother. No one told me Kankana was with Mantanga. Could I ask you to speak with her in my stead? Welcome to Yelena, my child. I'm Kantana, and my job is to assign the right work to the right workers. Might I have your name? Sarah, an ogre, was it? Let me jot this down. Oh, grandmother, why did it have to be a Mantanga? Is your companion quite alright? Ah, an understandable reaction. The Gatasura tribe has done much to stain the reputation of our people. You are looking for work, though, yes? Many have been forced to take what they can since the troubles began, so I'm afraid all the simple jobs are gone. Half what's left, I only have pacifists for seasoned fighters. Does that sound like something you could do? Fighting, I can fight. Lest you doubt my skills likened to that of the Dragonbane, the legendary Chakazo herself. I am not familiar with the name, but you sound formidable indeed. Why don't you start you on expert duty then? A group of artisans set out to harvest materials, and ask that I send any prospective protectors their way should I happen to enlist them. What? They've already set off? Is it our duty not to escort them? This will be a ritual dance performing in Kantiaya's footsteps. They'll need incense and costumes for the dancers and such. The entire thing was decided rather suddenly, so there's no time to waste. And these artisans you speak, do they also include Matanga in their number? It was an Arcasadora who submitted the request. I hope that won't be a problem. No, not at all. Just looking forward to fainting at the feet of my most feared enemy. Sir, I cannot do this alone. Pray lend me the strength of the victor of the Nadam, and half the reward for this task will be yours. The artisans didn't plan to venture far. Leave Yadilama to the west, and you should soon come across your employer. Then is that where we shall meet. You will find me there, yes? Oh, I don't think I attuned to the eagle. Courage. You must be a belated escort, yes? Glad to have such courageous. Is your companion not well? She seems a touch shaky. Of course, I should have thought of it before. I shall harvest the necessary ingredients while the artisan stays here. That way I have no need to fear being harmed. Perfect! I must say, this is less than ideal. The people are already scattered across the wilds, and I wanted someone to roam around and ensure they were safe from attack. Is your friend perhaps frightened by Arcasadora? I've heard such travelers before. Well, no matter. If you could patrol the areas I asked, I must attend my own harvest. Trunk's bone-crunching feet. You must be thinking me foolish. I was so absorbed in my task I failed to notice the ground shaking at the approach. Soon my injuries are lightened and my satchel is full. Thanks to you, I can make it back to town in time to meet the others. What happened? Did you slay the beast? That was a new thing. I took the first one by surprise, but the second, knowing Mantaga stone on my back, my mind froze and my body refused to obey. Grandmother taught me that we should let fear wash over us like water, but my shame could not fail her more thoroughly. Not to sound ungrateful, Sarah, but why did you follow me? We were to patrol. Forgive me, I should have waited for orders instead of running off alone and putting lives in peril. Come, we should return to our employer. I want to be sure the wounded man reached safety. Deep breaths. Let it wash over you. My colleague told me of his rescue. Although we had hoped to an escort from the start, I imagined if he hadn't come at all. I sent you and the others back to our workshop, so consider your duty with us complete. You have my thanks. As for your payment, you can collect that from Kanzana. Right. I suppose we'll reach to Kanzana then. Such troubles in Doma and Kugane, I assure you. This is different. Ah, there you are. Your employer expressed satisfaction with your work, so congratulations on the job well done. As a response to recent chaos, their upcoming ritual was hastily planned, to say the least. As a consequence, the artisans have been hard-pressed to make everything ready. When times are hard, the people of Thavner rely on such traditions to renew their faith and bolster their hearts with the teachings of the divine. The death of an artist would have thrown the whole thing into disarray, and thus your rescue is timely indeed. Please accept your payment, half each, as agreed upon. Are you interested in further work? I may have something for you, if so. That sucks. No, No, leave me alone. Help! Somebody help! Where did they go? Why are you here? I say you found him in time. You and your friends came to look for me. I don't know how to thank you. On my way home, I took a moment to stop and rest, thinking about what to do about, well, everything. And then those men came. Kidnappers. We heard that the Arcasadora are being targeted. Surely you have as well. Perhaps it's best you took refuge in the city. We've considered it, me and the others. Fishing is all we know, the ocean all we have. I see. That's your decision to make, but you should take care not to travel alone. A question, if I may. Tis our understanding that strange fiends have emerged from the tower. What canst thou tell us of these beings? Not much, I'm afraid. I have no idea what they are. But I've heard that some bear an unsettling resemblance to our divinities. For that reason, some have taken to calling the tower Zot, House of Divinities in the old tongue it means. But they're not true divinities. They're monstrous imitations that bring only death. To have one's faith so twisted into is a grievous indignity, and full justifier art thou in thine outrage. Know thou not that 'tis for no other purpose but to neutralize the tower that we have journeyed to this land. In time we may be forced to contend with these false gods, and thus we would learn all that we may about them. Wilt thou not tell us of thy divinities and their true nature? You've come all this way to save us. Really? Do you think I had you peddling fish? Which answered your question, yes, of course. We would gladly tell you about our gods. We, I say, because I'm a terrible storyteller, and I'd ask my fellow villagers to do it. So please come to our village. We're good, gods-fearing folk, and all of us, and we'd be honored to share our knowledge. And fish. What sayest thou? Shall we pay a visit to XIV? Wonderful. Just follow the road west and down the hill. You can't miss it. So 'tis the simulacra of the Thavnarian gods now are being summoned. If any doubt existed before, there can be none now. The kidnapped Hanish are being imprisoned in the tower. I pray that we are able to save them. Though indeed, saving them would mean confronting their false gods, like as not. Aye, and as you said, we do well to study the religious traditions. To XIV. hideous tower. Familiar though I am with the myths and legends of this island, to hear them spoken by heirs of the stored heritage giveth them new life. Welcome to Yakyali, my friend. The name is White Beach, and there isn't much here save that. Please make yourself at home. Your companions have already begun talking to everyone. Feel free to show yourself around and do the same. Any one of us can tell you about our gods, but we could do worse than start with Kanga and old Hasveda. They're free at the moment as it happens. You wish to know about our gods. What a curious visitor you are. Most want fish. In any case, I'm happy to oblige. Now, I don't know how whence you hail, but our isle is home to many gods. They can be divided into two groups. The Manyusa, beings of wisdom and assume the form of men, and Murka, beings of might who assume the form of beasts. Together they are the divinities. Their forms and personalities many and varied. Some are kind and gentle, others stern and temperamental, just like we mortals can be. All are possessed of great insight and experience, and by heeding their teachings, we strive to be better people and live better lives. Interested in learning our gods, you see. That's what I like to hear. Prick up your ears and then listen. In ancient times, the Mansuya and Nurka, deities who look like men and beasts respectively, were locked in conflict. Eventually, seeking wisdom of the Mansuya, the Murga cast aside their own heads and took up those of their foes. Likewise, the Mansuya converted the might of the Murga, so they too resolved to trade heads. Thus were born new gods possessed of both might and wisdom, and they ushered in an age of harmony between the two factions. From then on, as a sign of their esteem for one another, the Mansuya, the Manyusa, and wore animal faces, and the Murga were the limbs of men. Manusa. Okay, I'm gonna say that wrong. The Manusa. I'll take the times to say. There you are. We learned a thing or two about our gods at least. While you were talking to the others, I've remembered something that may be of interest. If you could let your friends know, I'll go and fetch it from my home elements. Apologies for the wait. I wish to show you this hanging scroll which depicts three of our most revered deities. By all means, we should like to see it. They are Manusia. Their center is one of the eldest, Sinduruva, the goddess of wisdom. For this, alchemists hold her the highest. To her right is the middle sister, Sandoruva. As a goddess of wealth, she counts many traders among her followers. And on the left is Mindadurova, the youngest. She presides over the crafts, and so is beloved by weavers. Although each is worshipped for different reasons, the sisters are usually portrayed together in these works, which people keep in their home for good fortune. In like fashion to the Manusia, the deities of Ares here preside over myriad aspects of life. What are the Mirka, if I may ask? The Mirka hold power over nature. In ages past, they were revered as the guardian deities in times of conflict. If you have the occasion to visit our temples and ruins, you will find their images there. Among them is the god who possessed the Gaja's head, and he is venerated as the progenitor of the Arcasadora. And then there are dragons. They occupy a special place in our history. You worship dragons too. It is said that an ancestor of the Satra, that's the ruler of Razahan, forged a covenant with a dragon divinity in ancient times. This divinity has since acted as the guardian deity of the Satra. Legend holds that if ever the Satrap is in need, his dragon ally will fly to his aid. Dragon ally. You claim to be a terrible storyteller, but nothing could be further from the truth. The passion you bear for your faith is plain to hear, and I'm confident that the information you've given us will serve us well in our efforts to deal with the tower. That is very kind of you to say. Thank you. I will pray for your success. Right. I believe it's time we sought out Kryle's acquaintance. An alchemist by the name of Nidan. According to Kryle's notes, we're to find her place at a place called the Great Ward, further north along the coast. Did you say you were going to see Nidana? Oh, how I envy you. She's brilliant and beautiful, kind and understanding. And did I say she's beautiful? Because her dainty eyes and no old drunk all day. And those eyes, when you meet her, take care you don't drown. Great Ward is situated at the cove to the north. Follow the road north and reach it. If there was a battle, there's a conspicuous lack of blood. In such manner did we find them. What could have befallen these people? What in the world?
What happened here?
Their dress marks them as alchemists. I see no evidence of injury or poison.
Thinkest thou they but slumber?
I believe so. Whether it is by choice is another question entirely.
Oh, we have guests. You must excuse the poor welcome. Long days and longer nights have taken their toll, as you can see. I am Vashan, servant to the satrap. My task was, in fact, to wake these good men and women, if you will allow. People of the great work, I come bearing new scales.
Scales? We have new scales?
Yes, my friends. Gather round. I have them right here.
Oh, happy day. Now I can continue my experiment.
Many thanks.
One for me.
Those are dragon scales.
Yes, such materials are vital to their most pressing research.
And we are fortunate to have them. Our experiments are so close to bearing fruit. Soon we will have a talisman capable of nullifying the etheric emissions from that accursed tower. Did I say something wrong? Are you not here with Varshan? Wait, who are you people? Of course! You're the one Kryl sent. The warrior of light we've been waiting for.
Oh, this is a day of celebration. Praise be to Cinderova!
The winds have shifted. I feel it. The end to our toil is near.
I feel it too. My head hasn't been this clear in days.
Tell me, how did you acquire those scales?
Curious that it concerns you so. But worry not. They were freely given by the dragon with whom our satrap has forged a lawful pact.
That is well.
You must be quite familiar with Dragonkin, yes?
Is this their congealed blood I see on your weapon?
Speaking of dragon blood, you yourself have been infused with it, have you not? I should like to draw a file or two, if so.
Now, see here.
Come along, come along. I must insist that you visit our laboratory.
Cease your shoving, or so help me.
Oh dear, your poor companion. What with the new scales and your timely arrival, my colleagues are a little giddy with excitement. No harm will come to him, I promise. Meanwhile, shall we find a quiet place to talk? As you may have guessed, I am Nidana, the alchemist who sent the request to your Mistress Kryl. We have workshops across the nation collaborating on this research project. But it is here, at the Great Work, where I collate our results. Come with me, all of you, and I can explain the crux of the situation.
days where I enjoyed such fervent adoration. On this occasion, I might gladly entrust the burden of popularity to Estinian. It is said that shellfish is ideal for those who suffer blood loss. Mayhap we should have acquired some from Matsu. Pray pay me no mind. I am here that I may be of service. Nothing more. Allow me to thank you for answering our call. Many towers have appeared around the world, and we are grateful that you would assist us with ours. Though Crowler herself is tied up with another investigation, Sarah is an incapable substitute, and will spare no effort in Eaton. So if I understand correctly, you seek to make talismans that can nullify etheric emissions. Indeed we do. As you know, the tower emits vast concentrations of the ether. One cannot go anywhere near it without being tempered. As such, we can only study the tower from afar, and are powerless to deal with it with any consequential way. In order to strike back, the satrap bade us alchemists to create enchanted talismans that will allow our soldiers to venture into the tower, even should they lack innate protection. Could such a thing be possible? Admittedly, we are still in the midst of testing, but we are quite confident. Even prior to this, our people have long pursued countermeasures against the etheric corruption of rivals. Of the methods tested to date, those utilizing dragon scales proved most promising. Owing to their etheric density, the scales are highly resistant to disruptive forces. The mightier the dragon, the greater the resistance. You seek to amplify this protective property through our alchemy. Thanks to the scales provided by His Excellency, we have been able to make steady progress with the talisman. Soon we will be ready to conduct a field test, and here is where you and your blessing of light come in. Better than having my blood drawn, I suppose. Perhaps so, and knowing my colleagues, they won't be satisfied with blood alone. But as for your task, we ask only that you serve as an escort. I will explain in greater detail later, but you will be venturing into the tower's field of influence. And so, for your own safety, I would first test how well your blessing shields you. With your permission, of course. In that case, your Yonj and I will find other ways to make yourselves useful. Since as you work to the point of collapse, I suspect you could do with more hands. We would be grateful for any assistance you can provide. If you are ready, then let us put your blessing to the proof. If you exit the Great Work and turn south, there will be a hill to the right. I will meet you at the top after seeing to some preparations. I hope I didn't have trouble finding this place, or climbing the hill. Not are all accustomed to the physical strain. I give you the fruit of our sweat, tears, and many a sleepless night. The drunken Deepa. A Deepa is a lantern presented to the gods as an offering. Taking inspiration from the tradition, we created this device to test the talisman's efficacy. Upon activation, it will move a certain distance before emitting a powerful blast of ether. In the eruption, those lacking sufficient protection will experience severe ether sickness. For your test, you will be exposed to 4 times. That should be enough to ascertain the blessing's protective capability. Please begin whenever you're ready. I shall be observing from a safe distance. To reduce the risk of accidental exposure, the drunken Deepa will emit a blast only after entering within a certain distance. Follow closely and bathe in the ether 4 times. Commencing an etheric exposure test. Repeat, commencing an etheric exposure test. Retain a fair distance if not as the subject. primary purpose for urging these guys, come on, resuming test, please follow. Voluntarily holding confirmed. Resuming test, please follow. Subject 42 rated. Impressive. Your irregularities confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow and brace for final discharge. Clear exposure testing concluded. Please collect and deliver me to the supervising alchemist. Congratulations on retaining your composure and your hubris. Ah, you returned, and not on your knees. A promising sign. But come, let it take the deep off your hands. Thank you. Shall we replenish its ether before we test the talisman? So no dizziness or nausea or anything with the sword. You're feeling perfectly fine. Then the strength of your blessing is beyond doubt. There is no risk that the power will corrupt you either. With this, you can request an aid for the task ahead with easy hearts. You're a capable warrior too, are you not? Would you be amenable to assisting me with another aid? You see, our talisman requires the use of a special ink, but we exhausted our stores of a key ingredient, spirit weed. The herb grows not far from here, and I would like to go out and harvest some. With the recent spate of kidnappings, however, we Arcasadora travel alone at our peril. You shall not come with me as my escort. I will compensate you for your troubles, of course. I'm in your tent. Without further ado, let us head to Kadyaya's footsteps. It is situated on the road which runs east of the Great Lake. I feel as if we're being followed. Consider. But that gave me a fright to think that the moment I've ventured outside the safety of the work. I think the sisters asked you to come with me. You all right, I hope? Good. Let's continue on. It isn't far now, just through these pillars and up the rise. Here we are, Kadyaya's footsteps. Kadjaya was a great dancer, and those who followed her, come to this place to train and dedicate their dance to their ancestors. A happy benefit for us of this is that the spirit grows here in abundance. I was said about harvesting once if we would please so good as to send God. Again, I would not like to return to better safe than sorry.
Yes, that would be Radzad Khan. Hardly anyone has been allowed in or out since our troubles with the tower began. The faithful citizens huddle inside the city walls, and commerce has all but ground to a standstill. I pity the satrap, the trials he must be facing.
What can you tell me of the satrap?
Well, he is the most important person in Radzad Khan. Long ago, this island was home to two tribes of Matanga, the Gajasura and the Arkasodra. When the Aura came to these shores, it was the Arkasodra with whom they joined forces. Together they defeated the warlike Gajasura, forcing them to flee Thavnair altogether. Peace and prosperity reigned for a time, until a clan of Hjor from the mainland decided they wanted the island for themselves. It was a direct ancestor of the present satrap who arbitrated that conflict and welded the warring factions into the nation we know today. And ever since, a member of that esteemed lineage has inherited this somewhat unique position. You see, by and large, the state is run by the people, but when problems arise, it is the satrap who mediates a solution. The stability provided by the satrap is what has allowed Radzad Khan to thrive all these years. And it was the satrap himself who entrusted us with this duty. We will not fail him, nor our countrymen.
What is the delay with the vessel? I told you I need to adjust those ratios.
I come all this way to admire one of my splendid towers, and what do I find? Fools attempting to ward off its tempering influence with magic trinkets. I seem to recall a similar experiment in ages past. What was that man's name? Oh, something. Owen? Another body, another time. Who could be expected to remember every trivial detail?
Allowing them to construct such handy talismans would be counterproductive to my plans. And yet, I find myself deathly curious. How will they manage this feat with the limited knowledge and resources at their disposal? Complications be damned, for we cannot escape the nature of our souls. And I, as ever, am my own worst enemy.
Even if spirit range lasts us a good while, thank you for keeping watch. Let us head back to the great work, shall we? Sarah, my thanks again for your assistance. With your help, we're that little bit closer to completing our talisman. This isn't much, but please accept it as a token of my gratitude. Excuse me, should we turn to my book on the talisman? Ah, you are both back. Excellent. I have a message for you, Mr. Sneha. It would seem the stores at Giant's Cottage are running low. What? But when we last looked, there was plenty. I suspect that was before Yobiyashi told everyone about the temporary cure, and the student shared his knowledge of dragons. Appears have since been inspired to fashion a number of new talisman prototypes. I see. Well, if it needs new possibilities, then far be it for me to complain, but we will need to replenish our stores. I should be happy to tip to this if you like. As much as I appreciate the offer, my dear boy, can I be conscious of some of you out there alone while the kidnappers are at large? Sir, though I am to press you to another task on you so soon, might I ask you to press the giant skull? In case you're not familiar, giant skull is a type of found of ore found in the iron, owing to its hardness and ethereal conductivity, and has applications in many disciplines. Alchemy, not least of all. The quarry where it started up to the giant skull grounds isn't far away, so it shouldn't take much of your time. May we impose upon you one more time? Thank you. Upon arriving to the grounds, please seek out a man named Zenula. He will furnish you with your At the very least, permit me to accompany you. It so happens I have an errand of my own that will take me to the outpost in Black. We borrow a pair of pumps, Mr. Snida. By all means, do try to be patient with them. Those that survive are still in training. I will bring the house to the entrance. Maybe there when you are ready. Despite his tender years, Varshan is thoughtful and dependable. It's easy to see why he was chosen to be the satrap's attendant. One of my colleagues has gone missing. She said she was going to Kajaya's footsteps to get a bit of exercise, but she hasn't come back. I'd go search for her, but it almost time for shift change, and I can't very well leave the kiln until it itself. Could you go and find a fetcher for me? You're too kind. She should be in Kajaya's footsteps. Keep an eye out for you. A hero with back here. I'm sure she'll be happy to see you. She was out last time you went by, and she was devastated she missed out the chance to meet the adventure meeting the students about this. Here are Hansa, sir. The creatures look familiar. It's because they are close kin to the Eorzean dodos. Hansa have long been kept as livestock in Zafir, and many hatchery may be found. Alas, the largest of these were recently raised by monsters from the tower. The account of said hatchery being situated near the tower, the Radiant Toast have repurposed the experiments as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me. Your own destination is but a stone's throw away. If you have no objections, let us first make the outpost. We shall set for it as you want. You're ready, then let us depart. You only need to ride in and out. My bird and I will take the lead of yours tomorrow. Let us be off. you haven't ridden dodos before, be warned that they have a wobbling gait. A spectacular formation stretching out over the water is found in car. The sword legend holds is believed that Manchuria lifted Monica before it was cast down in public exam. The left requiring no introduction is the town. As you can see, it's that of a small island. Almost there. The main part of the factory is up here. Campus is up on the beach. And here we are. Man rather ready post. This outpost is the first line of defense against attack. Well, who should it be but the young Varsha? The manner and her Saturn. Ah yeah, His Excellency may become the collective worker. Also wish to express his heartfelt gratitude before the brave men and women of the Red Post under their unflagging dedication. We simply do our duty. We are beyond ready to receive His Excellency's veto. And yet, for his benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as careless. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm these past few days, this remains the front line of battle. No place for children. Your predecessors are often too often travel alone. It's been, what, 2 years now since you took over? I wonder how the fellow is feeling. Life goes before him. He went on to represent the satrap in foreign lands. Wherever he may be now, I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition. Gladly. I pray you not think ill of his excellency. Certainly not well. Whatever happens, my faith in the satrap's own way. I still worry for you. We would be overcome with sadness if something were to befall you. You are as a little brother to us. Take care, dear. I will. Thank you. And who might this be? Not Hanish by the look of it. Permit me to introduce separately of the Aeorian contingent. Come to assist in the making of the talisman. From Aeoria, as you say. The towers are prepared there over 2 years, yes? Tell me, what is the situation? May I suggest exchange information with our soldiers? What particular concern candidates are value? An excellent idea. Given the inquisitive nature of the threat, some of ours are in standing military nations. We should be glad for the entire as you could say. You two bring Varshan to the next report and answer any questions you may have. I've heard about you. The visitor from the Eorzea. Is there anything you can tell us about the Tolafar? We know that they're the ones behind the tower and they've declared war on the whole world. But why are they doing this? What is it they want? This we don't understand. What? They want to die and take everyone with them. What madness is this? Well, you can bet we won't let those bastards have the way. We'll fight with them with everything we have, like our Asian and Far Eastern brothers. It occurs to me you have yet properly introduced our company. We are the Radiant Host, a military order under the Cyclops command. Our duty is to preserve peace in the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with heretofore unknown threats such as that. We train hard and admit only capable warriors in our ranks. Even so, we've struggled to contend with the fiends of their tower. Though we succeeded in striking them down on the two occasions they came in force, we had to pay a heavy price. Well, the towers are very old. Do they likewise spawn monsters? So it's much the same effort. With every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls from outside aid to be answered. You wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little and less about it ourselves. This tower is Zot, as people are clinging to calling it. Somebody appeared where they did on the Isle of the Ordinary. We're safe from its influence at this distance, but go too far into the water and expose yourself to its corrupting ether. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How are they dealing with the tower in your homeland? Our struggles are not unique. Then our hopes still lie with the talismans. We must keep the monsters contained until they are ready. Speaking with the soldiers, have you? Hope it was enlightening for you as it was for them. As a neutral nation and trading hard both, Razatana ordinarily receives a steady stream of news from abroad. Alas, the stream dried up when trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the dearth of information, everyone will have been grateful for your encounter. But come, you had best see to your original errand, as mine will keep me here a while longer. However, I'm afraid I cannot guide you the rest of the way. Worry not, the path is straightforward. You need but follow the road east. Upon the Hamza, you will arrive before you know it. Brief though it was, I enjoyed our time together. Till we meet again. I is indeed the giant skull grounds, and I am Zenula. Is there something you require? Giant skull for the alchemists, you say? But of course they shall have it. The tower tirelessly to deal with the tower, and this is the least we can do to provide them with the materials they need. Yeah, it's like with the purest giant skull. We always set some aside for the alchemist's friends. Whenever you delivered, let the good folk of the Great Work know that we are grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but ask. dear me, and I need to get back to work. Oh! Have I really been out that long? I really should go. But I was hoping to get a better look at the stage before I left. I'm sure you're busy, but could you assist me for a moment? Thank you. I inspect the walls, so could you make sure the stage is in order? Any problems? I'll throw in the paint. I'll have them to fix them next time I come by. Thank you for checking. You know, it seems odd that I've never met you until now. You wouldn't happen to know me they eventually sent by the students of Baldessimi, would you? You are! And here I was delegating you menial tasks. If I had known I've always admired travelers like you. You see, I was studying to be a dancer under Mistress Nashnira one time. I wanted to see the realm as I traveled for performances. Maybe I still can. Not as a dancer, of course, but as an alchemist. Oh, we should hurry back to the great work. I don't want to cause any more trouble than I already have. There you are. I hope you helped my colleague with the stage inspection when you're. It's great, I appreciate it. She really looks up to your character. She lost her chance to become a dancer due to an unfortunate injury. Now she's working to heal the sick and injured as an alchemist. She was so happy to meet you, as I am. Here, a token of our thanks. Welcome back, sir. I dare hope you have the dance card. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype. One that should be capable of passing out the most rigorous tests. Whenever it is ready, it will be time for the true test, so please take your ease while you can.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well. You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Tavner.
children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration. The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that. What is it? What did you see? Fandaniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds! This is the one!
At long last!
Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments! We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidana, are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
This is a rather finer boat than I'd expected, but I won't complain. I thought it remained sister board and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope in toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence. Any moment now. It's working! And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could. So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance. few more steps. Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets. What? Ah! Oh, let me go! Oh, let me go! Oh!
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
Patrons of old. What are you talking about?
Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Vandaniel, the sundered Ascian. I inherited the position and the soul of the Vandaniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Vandaniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am. How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes? Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
Armor, at your service. Imagine a nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met. Day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace. Existence fulfilled and ripe for decay.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation. Slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor. And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Amon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war, and so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell. As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. if you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again! Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see.
But you returned. But where's Mistress Nidana? Just whenever you succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the Great World. Something's gone alright, hasn't it? What happened? So it was Bandana after all. Damn that bastard. I'm sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. You must tread warily lest we endanger Nidhana and the other captives. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidhana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. Can you answer me this? Though Nidana is trapped in the dark, she's still alive, yes? Then we must make boarding skills as much as we can. The spirit prototype works perfectly. This Nidana prototype to herself. So let's make more scales, then she and all those who were taken might be saved. As alchemists, this is how we will help win this fight. My friends, the Satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link, and he might personally discuss the production and boarding skills with you. For the ARZ visitors, I bear an invitation. We report Mistress Nidana newly provided contributions to the Talon's creation. The fact came to the Satrap's attention and recognition of your deeds. He wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it's agreeable, you not accompany me to Razatan for an audience with His Excellency. We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can be only to the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gates east of the Iron Skull grounds, and I will show you into the city. city is burning with life. But the tower has dampened the mood spirit. Be it here or in the Arizona, all share the desire to burn the candles. Thus, I pray that we may join our common cause in such. In such commentaries, that the position is hereditary and is not considered solid. And that, despite power possessing considerable authority, is spared. Given the esteem in which the locals hold, however, it's safe to assume that he's good at his job. We could do far worse for an ally. All present, then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently under a state of high alert and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times.
A vast rock squats upon Favnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Rads at Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things. Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun. The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets. But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Here we are, Megadota. It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside. Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, satrap of Radzat-Han. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
Not everything went to plan.
I assume you speak of Nadana. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nadana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not. This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn. I am Vritra, and for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Vritra, of the First Brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgard Sorma's spawn. I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Rads at Han had an alliance with a dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive with the Aura, adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Rads at Han.
But if Vritra is still here, then your position as satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the Great Worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who joined me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
"'Tis here," buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razathan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my whim.
Ah, that would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered, Estinian warm blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another, yet did neither one of us bare his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Razathan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Padelthan and Cartanau, I am told. 'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the four of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Razathan, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
If our course of action is decided, let's not tarry. that we should encounter one of the first brood in such a circumstance. That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but now we have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Charlotte and muster a suitable crew for our foray to the Tower Zone. Oh, if you haven't already done so, be sure to tune into the Aetherite here before departing. Unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. His alchemists have prepared us for our foray to the tower. What we may accomplish within its twisted halls will remain to be seen. That Arcasadores languishing until Lafroy chains doth forewarn us of the nature of their foe. 'Tis the gods of Thavnir who will summon to the warriors. Just as I was getting used to the balmy thought of Thavnir back in chilly Charlotte. Take care not to catch your death, hey? We need you for the battle soon. Now then, everyone appears to be here, so let's take stock of all developments and discoveries. By way of Katie's experimental aetherite, and yeah, I must say it was far less taxing than our first attempt. And apparently, we need to only ask if you wish to use it again. Now, I'm not terribly eager to repeat the experience, but if you're willing to test your ethereal fortitude to the sake of technological advancement, then who am I to stop? Since there have been progress in both investigations, shall we share their findings of our respective locales?
Your time in Thavnir has certainly been eventful. In my opinion, carrying out Vitra's request and assaulting the Tower of Zot should be our highest priority.
I agree. While I still have questions concerning the Forum and their grand undertaking, we have all but exhausted our avenues of investigation. Simply pressing them any harder on the subject will almost certainly result in our expulsion. Therefore, I suggest we explore the ethereal sea connection by way of a letter to Master Matoya, then make our way to Thavnir.
I wonder, even with the protection these talismans afford us, what can we hope to achieve once inside the tower? According to Orenvold and Fodola's report, they were unable to free the Emulger. Worse, their attempts triggered the tower's defenses, which led to a summoning of Luna Ifrit.
What does it tell us that the Spires even have such defenses? Simply pulling a prisoner from the wall is fatal, thus the direct approach is doomed to failure from the outset. Any further measures to dissuade such actions seem unnecessary. Unless, of course, there is a way to free the prisoners without killing them. Then it stands to reason that any intruders will be met with overwhelming force.
The towers appeared throughout the world in but the twinkling of an eye. 'Twas by magical means these structures were raised, I surmise. A spire thus conjured must needs be maintained, and I suspect an arcane catalyst, some manner of core, doth lie hidden within. Destroy the core, and the tower ceaseth to be, thus liberating the captives without harm.
So we can hope, and I would prefer to enter the tower with a working theory than with no plan at all.
Assuming Ishtola's reasoning is correct, the chances of the defenses remaining dormant are small to none. Any primals will have to be dealt with, and defeating one will likely only lead to the summoning of another. Our every victory will only compound the prisoner's suffering.
May we not then divide our forces? Those proficient in healing will focus on sustaining the captives. That duty can be covered by Urianger, Kryl, Yostola, and myself. The remaining scions will proceed with the search for the core. Admittedly, this strategy puts both parties at greater risk, but it should bolster our chances of saving the Archosaurus by a considerable margin.
What about Alice? She knows a healing spell, actually.
That she does. But I think Alize herself would assert that she's at her best when she's charging onto the breach. And from what I recall from the Grand Cosmos, there's a spring in her step when she fights by your side.
Ye gods, will you never let me hear the end of that? Rest assured that I will do what is asked of me, regardless of who I happen to be standing next to at any given time. It seems we have a plan. All that remains is to carry it out. I will inform Rads at Han of our movements, so let us make our preparations and regroup near the tower.
The military post in what's left of the Hamsa hatchery should serve as a convenient staging point.
That sounds perfect. And remember, the experimental aetherite at the confluence is there for those who need it, so there's no excuse for being late.
Really? You ready for another round of aetherite testing? Then please, by all means, let's get you escorted to Thavner before you come to your senses. Ah, friend from AOs, we've been expecting you. You and yours will lead the mission to the tower. The boarding skills will be delivered soon. Till then, please stand by. I think we'll be ready. When you fellows those that arrive, I will direct them to join me. We pray for your safety and success. I kind of wish we were being a little late, but fighting fit, mostly. My friends, permit me to thank you for accepting this mission. You must be... We should still call you Marshal, I suppose. Indeed, it would not do to confuse our soldiers. Very well then. For our part, we are humbled that you should see fit to entrust us with your boarding skills. Please convey as much to His Excellency. One for each of you. Please accept them with my blessings. Our thanks. With these, we can go anywhere with the blessing of liking. Not only for this operation either, but for all the ones to come. You can finally break your monopoly on primers. I've been waiting for this day. So have we, my friend. So have we. If everyone is amenable to it, let us review our strategy for good measure. I previously agreed we should divide into two groups. Sarah and her band would break through the tower's defenses and locate its core. Meanwhile, the rest of us will tend to the prisoners, who will doubtless want for healing due to the duress of repeated summonings. Finals which the tower bringeth forth shall be the deities of that Mary. As you have no prior experience with such foes, pray exercise the utmost caution to confront them. We wish to commence the operation on your word, my friend. For the people of Thacker, nay, the entire world, we must prevail. Though our parties are separated, trust in me. I do not know you'll trust in me. Let's both give it our all and add another rousing chapter to this act. Aside for primals, within the tower we shall for a certain need guarding enthralled Imperial soldiers. Defenders conveyed hither by means unknown will stop at nothing to aid our efforts. Lest you worry, I have not forgotten my healing spells. Bay restoration or destruction, this sorceress can command whatever magics the situation requires. This is the closest I've ever been to one of the towers. Such a sinister aura it exudes. It's been a while since I last took to the field, and I can't help but feel nervous. With everyone at my side, I'm sure we will all be well. With Ishtola keeping them company, the other party will be able to hold their own against the enemy if needs be. So we can tackle our own task without worrying over them. Come, let us be about it. I may have taken new arms, but my role's unchanged. I am a healer through and through. Yet knowing who once wore this Sage's mantle, I wonder, when all is said and done, will I look back on the battles I chose to fight with pride? My warning seal is safely tucked away. I'm ready when you are, Sarah. I might not be the eyes of Dragoon, farmer or otherwise, but I guarantee that'll be as good as I get. First, this honor blessed with Ratarosker's power, and now this future scale. Much has changed with dragons to show me such favor. Now with Nidhogg with me, spirit and in hand, no obstacle will bar our way. The Radiant Toaster and I will be watching from the outpost, ready to act at the first sign of unusual activity. May the scale serve you well and protect you in the view of Victor's fangs and claws.